on. Everything looks good so far. We've got the terrifying nightmare Craig noise, which, by the way, that's going to be fun. That every single session from now until the end of time is going to start with me talking about how terrifying that voice is.
Yep, it's going to be all of them.
It's going to be all of them. Okay. So, today we're not starting the actual plot game proper, but I wanted to give us an opportunity just to stretch our character legs and get to play a little bit. And it seemed like a great opportunity to let you guys hang out in your home base some, which is something we're going to be doing. It'll probably come up from time to time during missions, but at the beginning and probably end of every mission, we're going to have, between missions, we'll have these like interlude segments that just take place on the Gemini, which will be a lot like today's game. So I am moving our characters over to the Gemini. I have yet to do a colored rendition of this because reasons, because I'm lazy. But what I did do is I made a list of all the different places on the ship that you can go, basically. And the idea is each of you can take your character and drag them to the place on the ship you want to go hang out at, and that way we can keep track of where everyone is.
Ooh.
So, does anyone need any reminders about any details about the Gemini?
Yeah, where does the AI hang out?
The AI, let's see. I think that the interface for it would probably be up here in the bridge, which is where the captain hangs out too.
Okay, cool beans.
There's also crew offices, which might be where some software development and stuff for the AI takes place.
Can you ping again on the ship where the bridge is?
Up at the very top, under superstructure. By the way, I looked up a lot of naval terms to get these terms correct. The superstructure is an actual thing and apparently looks exactly like the thing that I drew in there. I did not know that was a thing when I drew it.
It reminds me of the bridges from the Star Wars Empire Star Destroyers. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was going for, and apparently it's just we were pulling from the same inspiration. Okay. So, apparently everyone wants to go hang out in the bridge. We also have all these other places that have been listed. I don't know what the best way to go about this is. The one thing that I do know is I'm hoping around 3:15 maybe, I'm gonna have you guys do a sparring session with one of the other teams. So we have that to look forward to. For the time being, who wants to go first? Who wants to do something on the ship?
What's going on in the tavern?
Okay. Well, let's go head there and find out. Where's your character? Oh boy. I've got NPCs plugged in on the GM layer, and it's very hard to tell which are your characters. Let me select these and token layer. All right, so I just dropped in some NPCs that you can find at the tavern. I don't have names for any of them yet, but the tavern / club is in the observation deck. It's this front beak of the ship, and the beak of the ship is made almost entirely out of glass. So you've got this like 270-degree arc of visibility of the like space around you, and it has I think it has 5 floors, and 2 of those floors, the bottom 2, which are the biggest floors, are cafeterias. Then the 2 floors above that are the tavern and club, and they're kind of like a conjoined floor that you're supposed to be able to move between easily. And then the top floor is the picnic garden, which is it's not a real garden, it's just like a nicer, cozier area that you're supposed to be able to just like sit on the ground. It's got like a very nice lush carpet, so yeah. So you head to the club, the tavern club. I'm gonna say that in ship time, this is like the middle of the afternoon. I think since you guys have your training session with the other team coming up in like an hour, or let's say 2 hours, so you guys have time to properly hang out. So it's not the club is not hopping right now. It's not like a total rave. But I do think that they're playing right now. I think that the like dance floor part of the club is pretty much empty. But the tavern part of the club has maybe like 10 people hanging out. You've got the musicians are sitting on the small stage down by the tavern and just kind of just jamming, not really doing any kind of crazy performance, just hanging out and having fun. And I can add some more people to the tavern. Let's see. They should have a bartender, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I tell you what, I'm gonna start picking out a sprite, which will tell me something about the bartender. In the meantime, why don't you tell me something about the bartender?
I want him to be a total gossip hound. Like, you can walk in the tavern at any given time and just be like, so, what's been going on in the universe? What have you heard? And he will just go right into it. He does not care about the other customers. He's just there to gossip with you.
Very good, very good. Hey, are you ready for the best thing?
Yes.
All right, it's uploading. I'm resizing. There
It's perfect.
is the bartender. Yeah, yeah, that's happening. That's what he looks like. Okay, so I don't know if there's any rumors going around about like the galaxy lately. I think that if he wanted, he probably has some good gossip about some of the Primarchs of the Empire, but I think that the gossip he has for you, and this is not surprising gossip, but he lets you know that he heard Otema was having another one of her hard days yesterday, and she like did not come out of her room for most of the day, and so Leco was probably involved there, and that's as much as they know. But it's always very sad whenever Otema has a hard day.
It is very sad. I want to
It
go
is
check
very
up on
sad.
her.
Okay. Well, you know where her room is. He has not seen her yet today, and she does come down to the tavern from time to time. So that doesn't mean necessarily that she's been in her room all day, but she was yesterday, and we don't know to the contrary today. So, do you want to head over to her room?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And then we can
so
check
that
in with
is
some of the
going
other
to be
people.
in the main part of the ship, in the suites, and you're going to be heading to the cabins, and I'm going to leave off there for now, but I will go ahead and reveal layer, token layer. So, how do you think I did with my Otema sprite?
Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah, she's very good. And I don't know who that kid is. I just figured like there would be a kid in the cabins. Okay, who wants to go next?
I have I don't know if it relates to what just happened there because I'm not sure if I know the person Aveline's heading over towards. But
Oh, you know what? You have been on this ship for years. You definitely know her. She's another one of the mainstays who's been on this ship for a long time. Otema is an ale. She's a traveling prophet, kind of, who like travels around the universe and has visions and
Guided.
like works to help other people.
She's guided.
She's just an absolute sweetheart who's always charitable to everyone, and everyone loves her. And she also has really bad depression and just like mental health issues. And
Jeez.
so it's pretty common for Otema to have like she'll put on a brave face when she's on the job trying to help people, and then as soon as she gets back, she just like locks herself in her room. And the other thing that you know about Otema that is again common knowledge to every person who's been on this ship for like 6 months is that there's another girl who's on one of the mercenary crews named Leco that is not a, if you asked either of them, they would not say that they're dating, but they're like exclusive fuck buddies. That's what you know.
Very important.
Yeah.
all right. So I had an idea that I would be sort of probably at any given moment in a slice of life kind of story, I would be like finding my way either accidentally or purposefully into some sort of situation where I'm trying to find like a person who's maybe older or maybe doesn't have a lot of companionship for some reason. Maybe they're a widow or something like that. Or somebody who just needs cheering up, and I've gone to check on them and see how they're doing. And that might relate to Otema, but it might not. I don't know.
I think that would be a very good theme. So we should at least start with that today, since Aveline's going to check on her. I like this potential dynamic. There's also some good, like, cute older people that we can have on this ship, which I have not fleshed out yet. But I think for right now, that's a good start.
All right.
Okay. So you go to the cabins, and I think you were actually in the cabins beforehand when Aveline arrived, and I think you probably got there like 15 minutes before Aveline. Like you both just happened to want to go check on her at the same time. And Otema let you into her room. It's a very like hippie kind of room. She's got fairy lights, like colored like Christmas lights strung up around the walls instead of traditional lamps. She's got lots of like posters, but they're like inspirational posters. And there is just clothes all over the floor. It's an absolute mess in here. Yeah.
So I'll have knocked on the door, and if Otema has let me in, then I'll probably be in there just kind of chatting with her in a sort of concerned manner, trying to figure out how she is and what I can do.
I think she's kind of used to this, and I think she doesn't necessarily like that everyone worries about her, but she's kind of figured out that if she doesn't indulge them, they just worry more. So yeah, she has let you in. She leaves the door open, mostly just because otherwise it gets a little claustrophobic in this room. These are not, so they're decent sized rooms. I was describing them as like the size of a hotel room. Like each suite is like a master suite.
I feel like I would probably be in the position of like recommending that she get more exercise or something.
Oh yeah,
I'd give her
no,
some
I
sort
love
of
that.
generic advice that she might not really like, but I'm giving to her.
Yeah. So I think would you come in and at first just like ask her how she's feeling and if anything's wrong?
Yeah.
I think that she evades the question at
You
first.
kick down the
because
door. Get some exercise.
You just throw a ring fit right at her.
Because you're a very good therapist and you're an empath, you can pretty quickly get her to actually start talking. And she tells you that she's had another one of her visions, and not this star system, but maybe next, sometime soon, she's gonna have to go deal with and she doesn't give you the details, but some people who are in a really bad situation, and she can give them some help, but she's not going to be able to fix their problem, and that sucks. And knowing that in advance really sucks. And so she's kind of just living with that.
I'm sorry, Otema.
Oh God, so good.
I have this little glow feature, which is one of my augmentation.
All right.
It's my only augmentation, where I just kind of have this faint, colorful aura that expresses empathy, but in a more kind of traumatic sense when I'm trying to express empathy. So.
Right. Yeah, you definitely have the glow going on. Do you still recommend just like exercise?
The more that I hear about her problem, the more that I back off from giving her that only advice. I try to make it more specific.
Okay. I'm asking partially. I feel like this is a thing that Jeff, the training therapist, might have an opinion on. Do you have a suggestion for her?
I don't know the nature of her problem. I don't think, but
I mean, her problem is it's like
brief.
survivor's guilt. It's knowing that there's bad things in the world and that she's not going to be able to stop them.
I would say you can start by talking to your friends.
Is that the end of the advice?
So far.
Talk to your friends.
Hey,
I
you should
mean-
just talk to your friends.
Talk to
I
the
think-
beloved.
Hold on. I think it is at this point that Aveline walks by the door and Otema goes, "Hi, Aveline. Do you want to come in? I've been told
Yes.
I should talk to my friends."
Oh,
she says
am
this
I
very
your friend?
pointedly while
That makes
looking
me
at
feel
Buffy.
so great. Aveline's gonna come rushing into the room and just flop down on the bed without regards to
Oh,
being polite.
I think.
What did you want to talk about?
I think that Otema's probably cool with that. I think that you guys have probably done this before. So I think that she does not talk to you about her problem. Unless you're going to specifically like ask about it, she's going to start talking to you about this saucy romance novel.
I'm gonna let her talk about the saucy romance novel for a while, and I'll comment on it occasionally, like, wow, that sounds really steamy. I'm gonna have to pick that book up. And then I'm gonna very gently just pat her on the lap and be like, is there something else you wanted to talk about, perhaps?
Now, hold on. I am going to need you to make a, I think, resolve check to to determine whether or not you do, in fact, want to pick up a copy of that book.
A resolve check.
Interesting.
It's about 2 space farmers.
Can we get a title on that book?
I
It's
think
called
Bryn
After
is-
the Summer Rains.
I
It's a
think
real
Bryn is
book and
thinking
I've
about
read
a real book. Yeah, you told me about
it.
this.
It's very good. Okay, so you're pretty you have a +4 resolve?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
girl.
resolve was one of my top
Oh right, because
picks.
it's one of your casting things. Well, I mean, you will not be swayed by these tempting descriptions of good sweaty scenes. But like, you know, if you want to later, that's your prerogative.
You can just pocket that.
Yeah. So I think that because you asked well, I think that she kind of rolls her eyes and then she looks at Bluvan, who she knows that it will be disappointing to Bluvan if she doesn't open up. She's like, fine. And she tells you the same thing she told him about how she's had a vision, and this is like her whole deal is that she'll have a vision that will lead her to her next job, and then she'll do what she can with her powers and with just being a good loving person. But yeah, she's going to be going to a place that is that has a sickness, and she can give the people some spiritual guidance, but there's not much she can do about the sickness itself. So she kind of shrugs.
I think I want to. Otema, I don't want to act like I can understand where you're coming from because I know that you've seen just horrible things that I can't even begin to imagine. But if I had any advice for you, I would say that the best thing you can do, on top of talking to your friends like Bluvan suggested, is just taking everything one day at a time. Like, you're going there, you're going to give them their spiritual guidance. They need that. And even if you're not able to help with everything else, what matters is that you went and you tried to help and you did what you could do. And that's the best you can do. And if you want to do more, I am always here and I will help you with anything.
I'm gonna say you guys continue talking about this, and I think that's good advice. I think that for today at least, she's gonna be able to internalize that. And actually, no. You know what? Hold on. Is there a skill we can roll? You could do diplomacy, I guess.
Oof, I'll go for it, but it's one of my least skills.
Yeah, go ahead and roll diplomacy. I think this is a standard.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that Bluvan knows the kind of thing that you're trying to convey, but you don't quite use the right words, and she gives you a smile, and she's like, "Well, thanks. I'll think about that." Okay. You guys can continue talking to her for a while. I want to go do somebody else's scene. Who wants to do a scene?
I'll go.
Okay.
So Roy is currently in the brig, and he is interrogating an escaped scientist from an organization called Redcorp, who may have had.
Hey, hold on, Jesus! You just threw this out at me.
He's like, hey, didn't know we had prisoners.
Hell yeah!
I did say that we have a brig, so
Yep.
there.
Like, I was gonna go on the bridge first, but then I saw a brig and was like, "Oh, this is more interesting. I
Okay.
can go places with this."
Sure. So
Point of-
you've got a escaped scientist from Redcorp. Hold on? Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this somebody that I should make a character sheet for?
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
Roy isn't. Roy doesn't torture per se.
Okay. Hold on.
Roy is not particularly good at looking at my character sheet. Well, he's all right at perception, not particularly good at intuition. So he uses a machine that's essentially a reverse Voight-Kampff machine. Let's just call it the Du Hast machine.
Oh my god.
And this
That's
is going to
amazing.
use. I would want it to use, if it's cool with you, to use his software abilities. So he uses it to like detect whether or not a person is telling the truth. It's kind of like a lie detector, kind of like a emotion detector.
Okay. All right. I'm all right with that.
Okay, and like to also give another limit to it, like he could only do it in like a static environment. Like it takes time for him to set this thing up. So it's not like I can just.
And I think that it needs a controlled environment because I think it probably goes off of sound, and I
Mhm.
think that if you're in a very like sound crowded environment, you get a worse reading. You want like a good
Exactly.
clean recording. It's gonna take some time, and you need to be able to like, I think that you probably have to like put some like lie detector kind of like diodes on them. So anybody who's like not a prisoner, this would be hard to do.
Yeah.
What was that organization you said? The
Redcorp. Just giving a real basic name for that one.
Okay, like Red Corporation.
Yep.
Okay. All right. This guy's name is Flama. We're gonna call him Dr. Flama. He has a doctorate.
Dr. Klama.
He is
Cool.
a scientist for Red. Oh, that's Red Crop. Red Corp. All right, there we go. All right. I mean, all right. So, I guess just start asking questions. You're in the lead.
So Roy is kind of a picture of marble in most situations. He's looking sort of like the bored anime character who pushes up his glasses at this scientist.
Okay, very good. Does Roy have glasses?
For this, yes, Roy would be wearing glasses to assist AR projections from the Duhast machine.
Okay, they're not.
They're not
Yeah.
regular glasses that he uses just for like bad eyes or anything.
Yeah, it's very
They're
good.
specific use. They're almost like goggles, but not quite goggles.
Sure.
And he says, in a very monotone and plain voice, Dr. Klama, Cheryl Landry was your assistant. Where is she?
I think. Okay, I think he's gonna say, "What are you going to do?"
This is not an event where I am the one being asked questions. This is your interrogation, and you will answer said questions. You've given me about 75% of the information that I need to know already. I only need the remaining 25.
Yeah, he looks a bit surprised at that. I think he's going to say, "Well, I'm not going to do anything that would get my friend hurt. I think I want you to roll. Do we have intimidation? No, So I think I've been using guile in place of intimidation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and remember, like that's why I'm using this software, because I don't have particularly high guile or intuition.
Okay. Then I think that your burden here is you need to get him to answer the question either in the affirmative or negative. So if you get him to that point, then you can use the software to like make some inferences based on his answers, but you're gonna need to keep him talking.
Well, I was going to say that you actually already provided me with all of the information that I need, because with the knowledge that Dr. Klama is concerned for his friend's safety and his answer to Roy, that tells Roy that Dr. Klama does indeed know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
So and because this is just a prelude, I don't want to like go through a whole back and forth interrogation or anything, but that would, I think, give the character something to go on for the next foreseeable between now and our next game.
Okay. Yeah, I think that that he's concerned for her. You know that he is specifically he's more concerned for her than he is worried about like being hurt or anything currently. We'll see, how he would feel about that after a few hours of torture, but right now he's feeling pretty fucking brave.
You said pretty afraid or pretty brave?
Pretty brave.
Brave, word. So judging from Dr. Klama's protective answers, Roy would then tell him, "It seems as though you do know where she is, and this is good. Being that you have been cooperative thus far, I will answer your earlier question. I intend to ask her some questions about the model that I may have previously been in, and about this body that I now find myself in. I remember things from a war that occurred 100 years ago, and yet I can only live until the age of 6. I will find my answers, Dr. Klama."
Okay. I think this is a good end to the scene. That was not what I was expecting. Okay.
He's not a torturer.
Yeah, no. That was great. That was a very well handled scene of that kind, and I like the contrast between Roy and Stabek in how that scene would have played out.
I have a quick question in relation to what I might know about that. Do you think that your interactions there were public knowledge or private knowledge?
The interrogation?
Like would Bluvan be privy to what you're doing, or am I is this sort of a thing you're doing a rogue?
No, I think it would be a pretty public thing.
Okay.
Roy wouldn't have any reason at this point to really guard that information.
However, Roy has also not been with the group for very long, so
yeah.
I think that if he, in a few months, I think that you would absolutely know that. Since he's only been here a few weeks, you probably haven't caught on to these minute little things that he's doing. I don't think he's hiding it, but it's maybe not obvious on the surface. Who wants to go next?
Could I go next?
I can. Oh, go ahead.
All right. Mate, you're heading to the bridge?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready for the best captain of a space pirate ship sprite that you've ever seen?
I'm holding on to my space britches.
Okay. The one on the left is the captain. Yes.
Okay.
She fears not God, nor man. There's a rumor that she used to be in the military, and she single-handedly took out an enemy blockade with just one ship. There's a lot of people fear. She's also very, very angry about just every government. And the one on her right is her first mate. Neither of these characters have names.
Neither have names.
Actually,
but they're
hold
both
on.
from the war.
The captain has a name. Which I should be pulling up. Oh no, she doesn't. She does not. I only have a name for a little girl. So, yeah. Do you want to help me come up with a name for this character?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit, and then we will organically, I guess, come up with a name.
Sure.
So, Mate has kind of been wandering around the ship. It's been some time since joining kind of with this crew and trying to find their place where they kind of fit on the ship, and just constantly finds themselves coming back to the bridge pretty much every day religiously.
Okay. You come in. The captain has a bottle of some kind of alcohol that she is sipping on as she is talking to her first mate. do you have any Yeah, okay, so she comes in, you come in, and she acknowledges you, and I think just gives you a wave. She has seen you enough times now that she's not gonna like drop everything. She's not concerned that you're here, and
Is she annoyed? That'll come first.
no, not necessarily. No, I think that you I think she's all right with you being here. I think that as long as I mean, have you been underfoot? Have you been underfoot? Have you been in the way?
I try. I'm just that it's very important that I can spend my time here.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you aren't any trouble. It was like a weird thing the first time you showed up, and now it's been, a while that you've probably been coming and going, from time to time for like over a year now. And yeah, I think she's just used to you. She gives you a nod and continues talking with her first mate and is going down some like chart and yeah, some just like chart of like financial statuses and looking over stars in the galaxy. This is a thing that they do pretty much constantly. This is most of their 9 to 5 is making good judgments about where to put the ship next, or not next, because the next route is like the next jump is predetermined, but where in 3 months they're going to be, kind of thing.
Does our group normally have a lot of input, or like there are any meetings that we attend that kind of helps make that determination?
I think the way that they do it, which I think is going to be the way that I do it, is every month you have a choice of 3 places you could go, and they're all going to be like relatively close to each other and relatively like on the same path. She gives you yeah. So she lets you guys vote on that, and she just gives you guys like a dossier on each candidate, basically, and says
Okay.
like, these are the 3 candidates. This is what they each have going for them. What do you guys think?
Okay. So I think coming in just per normal, this is just routine now. I come in, I see the captain, I kind of do a little wave because it's something that I learned on my home planet that you do with friends.
She waves back.
I can't smile, but I think I would try.
You kind of like lift your hat up at her.
Yeah. And then I would like to move towards the back of the bridge and start interfacing with the AI.
Do you have like a RoboCop prong?
I think
like a spike in your fist, or like is it like R2D2?
Yeah, it kind of comes out like the BB-8 thing. I kind of like flick my wrist back, and that happens.
So I was gonna say, normal sleeves have almost like a USB port that they can like plug a wire into to interface with the device. That is for a sleeve made in the Galactic Standard. Your sleeve is not made in that style. But what I think you have instead is, I think you have really good engineering, right?
Yeah, and I also thought that I had like the built-in Wi-Fi.
You do. What I was gonna say, yeah, you've got great hardware.
I think via Bluetooth.
Built
you have Bluetooth 2.0.
And a converter, like how somebody might have a USB to Thunderbolt converter. You've got USB to MX8 converter.
Okay, that's very good.
This far in the future, people still plug those things in upside down. It should be
Yep.
canon.
Yeah, just everything should have made it to the USB-C standard, and it still hasn't happened.
Yep.
But yeah, I would like to go ahead and do that. And I know I'd like to say that every time that I do it, I kind of see a bit of a derisive look come my way from the captain.
I was going to say, so this has happened before. You're not being stealthy.
No, this is not stealth at all. Like, I want to say the first 5 or 6 times that I came to do this, I tried the stealth, and that just, it did not work. And I needed to just be upfront about it, because I heard that being upfront about these things might work better with the captain.
Yeah, she sees you, and she smirks and rolls her eyes and goes back to what she's working on. You're gonna go talk with Gemini.
Okay. Yeah, I would really like to just see how Gemini is doing today.
I think that I think they're doing all right. They could use a good cleaning in the filtration system, and the propulsion engines could use a touch up, but nothing is outside of standard thresholds.
Do you have people already taking care of these things, or should I make a note of that?
They have there's a crew who will take care of it. They're not due for a cleaning for the next 3 months, and that is fine. It's kind of like, if you asked your car if you needed an oil change, it would probably say that it wants an oil change more often than you give it one, kind of thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is worth everyone's trouble to give it an oil change once a month or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that these are important things, and I'm gonna take a second and then just make a note and send something to the ships. I don't know, whatever the equivalent of the ship's
maintenance crew
maintenance website is, but I'd like to put a flashing banner on the top of the page that just says maintenance needed. Maintenance needed.
Have you done something like this before?
I've tried it. This will be the first time that I'm trying it on the ship.
Okay. Next question. Does okay, so MX8 is Wi-Fi compatible?
Yes.
Okay. So you can receive IMs just anytime you're within a...
Yeah, I can just straight up be airdropped at any time.
Very good. Okay. First, I need you to... So we've got 2 options here. One is that we continue to just... One is that we come up with a name for the captain, and the other is that nobody knows the captain's name, and we just call her captain.
Man, that's a bummer. I have a name for the captain. I don't know how other people feel, but I wanted to name the captain Ilya.
What is it?
Ilya.
Ilya? Is that the correct spelling?
Yes.
I love it.
That's a yes from me.
Okay, y'all are cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, Captain Ilya. Let me go ahead and grab that. Use selected token. You're a bastard, cat.
Wow. Okay.
Hold on, Brent. I'll go take care of it.
Okay.
I understand. Me and Mel have been fighting for 2 days.
Man, that's sad to hear. I figured
You
he'd be
will
real
excited
chill.
to learn that there is a cat bowl inside of the cardboard box. He pushed it off into the window, and it fell from the window into the cardboard.
Wow.
Okay. Mate, as you were leaving the room, I think that you get an instant message on the ship's like semi-official, like not like proprietary, but more like the ship like Microsoft Teams server kind of thing. We get an instant message from a girl who works in maintenance, and she just messages you in all caps. What? What do you want?
What?
Is this a group chat? Like, is this something that Aveline can access?
No,
I feel like anyone
we
else who
got it
has.
directly.
Yeah, I got
Hold
this
on.
one directly, but does anyone else have Wi-Fi in our group?
I think everybody has access to like a phone that can access internet. But unless they are,
Is there like a
leagued or
ship-wide
they
Discord
specifically
server?
have the upgrade if they don't have wireless by default.
Okay, but this was just like a straight up DM sent to me though.
Yes, so she could have sent it to anybody else. It just would have gone to their phone. To you, it just went directly to your head.
Okay,
Give me this girl's name.
Corrin.
Corrin is very good. Okay. Also, you guys have to remind me to make some of these NPCs male.
Oh yeah. Unless we're
I
just
have
gonna have
I have
a
a
ship full of
tendency.
ladies.
Okay,
We've got one male NPC thus far, Dr. Clown.
sure.
The
Okay.
prisoner.
So Corrin works in maintenance. She's, you know, she's another member on the team of like 4 who kind of just take on different jobs. And it's a big ship. I mean, this is a ship that could house up to like 500 or 1,000 people. There's always a lot of maintenance to be done, and they can only automate so much of it. Yeah, so she's basically yeah, I think that she messages you what, and then as soon as she starts seeing the typing icon, she messages you, get off my dick. I'm busy.
Okay, so I don't know if thematically did you just move me down there because it's just easier to see both of the pawns, or did I get that message? I like it better that I got the message. I said bye to Gemini and went down to the engineering.
I think that after she sent you the message, you started heading.
Yeah, I just immediately head down. So as she's sending me the message that like I'm typing, I just walk into the room.
Okay. Yeah, so we're not gonna do this for too long.
Yeah. No, I just want it known.
You're gonna try to convince her that she needs to do a cleaning on the filtration systems.
Yes, and I'm gonna make it very apparent that like Gemini doesn't really need this done, but is requesting it, and I think Gemini would really appreciate some love right now. Like we spend a lot of time here, so that could you actually?
Okay.
Will you?
I'm gonna need you to roll diplomacy.
Shit. Can I hack her?
No.
Okay.
That's the person. I mean, she is
Well, you
augmented.
can hack a person, but
She is augmented, but you need some serious heavy duty shit to augment to hack an augmented person's mindset, and it's like super duper tab. It is considered equivalent to rape in a lot of societies. You are going into somebody's head without their permission and just like invading them in a very upsetting way. It's viewed more harshly than empathy, because empathy is kind of like a natural organic adjustment to brains. Doing hacking into somebody's mindset is very violent. You can't do it in a natural, organic, clean way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, cool. I'm gonna roll this diplomacy that I have a 1 in.
Okay. She only has a 1 in resolve. All right.
Damn.
She's a little bit sturdier than you, but So for this, we would say that she won, but she won by 1 shift of success. That means the difference between her roll and yours is only 1.
Mhm.
So she sighs and she says, "Look, I can't get to it right now, but," and she pokes through the like queue and she says, "All right, we're gonna have some downtime this month. I was looking forward to just taking a break, but since we're gonna have to do that job anyway, I can push her maintenance up."
Oh, joy. Thank you. And I'm gonna rush up and just like grab her hand and start shaking it furiously.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. You're does she have you talked to this person before?
Yes, this definitely wouldn't be the first time that I've bothered Corrin with this.
Corrin's gonna say, "Mate, you're getting better at this. It's just like 2 pumps."
I'm gonna nod my head and do like a little like stiff little bow and say, "Apologies, I'm still learning. Thank you." And I'm just gonna turn right on my heels and leave.
She laughs and says, "You're doing better, buddy." And she pats you on the shoulder as you get out.
Thanks, and I'm just gonna pat away.
Okay, so good. Bum, 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 bum. So 2 has not gone. Amil has not gone, and Ruda has not gone. Is that it?
I don't think I've gone.
Okay. Then in that case, I think we have enough time for you guys to go before we do our contest thing. As long as we don't spend too long on those scenes. So
I can go. I'm ready.
Yeah. What did you want to do?
Right now I'm in the hangar, so I'm thinking that this is my first time on the ship, and I'm taking a second to stand back and admire all the other like ships in the hold. And I'm sitting there, and this is the expression that I have. That's on my face, and I'm just like in awe.
There's like a dozen different crews who work on this ship. I'm gonna that number is gonna be flexible until I get it pinned down. But and then each of those crews, like your crew has 4 vehicles that I can think of. 5. You got your cargo ship, you've got Umex, and you've got the hover chair. You guys alone have 5 vehicles. So there's I think there's a good like
probably two or 3 dozen like individual types of ships, and maybe like 10 or 12 big ones that carry like a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, so I think that your cargo ship is one of the bigger ships in here, but not the biggest. Yeah,
I'm gonna spend my time trying to like size the other crew up based on like what they do, and I'm like judging them. I'm like, amateurs. And I'm gonna be like looking at some people, and I'm gonna like, wow, quality work.
Okay, and you're judging these teams entirely based on like the maintenance of their ships, right?
Oh yeah. And then like I'm gonna see like one crew that has like the best maintenance, like it's really impeccable, and I'm making this face.
Very good.
I'm just like oogling over the like craftsmanship.
So I think that there is a standard maintenance crew that that comes with your like, you know, subscription fees to the ship, basically.
I'm going to intentionally make sure that no one touches my ship.
Okay, and I think that a lot of people have that. I think that it's just like you can like put a flag up kind of thing on your ship. That kind of like at a hotel, you can put up the like.
I have do not disturb sticky notes all over my ship.
Sure. Yeah. So I think you see the regular maintenance crew working on a few of them, and did I pick any of these guys? Who is this? Okay. You're going to see one of the people from the crew that you're going to be talking to in a little bit, token layer. So this is Messah, and she is I think that they have a their team has a battle helicopter, and you don't know whose it is, but she's doing maintenance on the battle helicopter and like polishing out the big guns on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't see you at first because she's working on them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to like slowly approach.
Okay. Pretty soon she notices you nearby, and she looks over her shoulder and then does like a double take when she sees you there. And she goes, "Oh hey buddy, I haven't seen you yet. You new around here?"
Yep. Quick question.
Is that too? Yes, go.
Oh, okay. What's the power output on those power couples you got there?
Oh, she gives you a number of power output that would be appropriate for this vehicle.
You can also just like create a unit. I don't care. 15 barbecue potato chips. Doesn't matter.
Sandwiches.
Stick with potato chips.
I think it's 15 BBQs.
Okay. 15 BBQs.
Which is I think it's on the higher end, but not by a ton. So like this is probably a ship that's been souped up a little.
I'm just going to spend the rest of the time like taking notes.
Okay. And I think that after she finishes the maintenance she's doing on hers, she's gonna ask you if you have your own ship.
World map.
I do, but I've only managed to get 13 BBQs max out of it. I'm still working on it.
I like to think that the BBQs is like proportionate to size.
What size?
Size, yes, because hers is a helicopter and yours is a cargo ship. And if this is something that's just like horsepower, it would be
true. Okay, so I'm gonna say I've
monstrous.
only been able to get 40
I like the idea
40
of this being something
BBQs.
that is a
Scalable.
ratio.
Oh, so it's like a BBQ is like a horsepower per pound.
Yeah, something like that.
Ah.
Okay, so yeah, she definitely after she wipes her hands off, she wants to come and check out yours, and you guys have a good time. And I need somebody to help me come up with the name for this other team. Also, I need you guys to come up with a name for your team.
For our team?
For our team. My mind's going toward Space Wombats.
Space Wombats for Justice.
For the other team.
Oh, are they the okay?
I was thinking something like descriptive of some way we could make fun of them. So called like the Junkers. Everything that they use and trade in is junk and crap and trashy.
I think it's both. I think it is the Wombats, and then they are called the Junkers sometimes.
Okay.
What was this character's name, Bryn?
Messah. M-E-S-S-A.
Messah. Okay.
Okay. So that would be Brad, Messah, Hayden, and Leco make up the Wombat. Okay, and what do you guys think that your team is called? We can change this later. It's just something that I am going to use to start referring to you.
The Star Crushers.
The cell.
I like the cell.
Let's do the cell.
Let's do the cell.
Okay.
I can stand behind that.
Okay. I will go up here and I will just the cell is very good. Okay. So I think that each of you guys, wherever you are on the ship. Oh shit. Ruda, I didn't have time to get to you. Is it fair to assume that Ruda is at the gym just absolutely crushing some dumbbells?
Just pounding away. Cyberpup is like spotting him because he figured out how to do the spot mode. It's also worth saying
the spot mode is actually supposed to like watch for somebody like sneaking up to you. It doesn't actually prevent you from dropping something on yourself.
He doesn't notice. He read in the manual spot mode and he's like, oh, fantastic. I can do my benches today.
Okay. So here's what I will allow. Oh, no. This is for sure. I know what's happening here. While you are in the gym, somebody actually asked you to spot her, and it is Leco from the Wombats. You've been here for a couple years, so you've definitely talked to the Wombats and Leco, a few times at least. And she wants to know if you'll spot her. Morgan?
Not really feeling her.
He's just staring in silence, just dead-eyeing.
He's like, wait, you'll spot me?
Morgan? Oh, wait. Are you on?
Yeah, no, I think it was my microphone and my headset.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, come on. What are you pulling? 700? 800?
800 pounds?
Gigapounds, pal. We're going hard with 3 times the gravity today.
Oh my god. Okay, no. If that's the case, yeah, definitely this is what you're doing.
Go big or go back to whatever fucking planet you came from. This is what.
No.
Wow.
She doesn't want your help lifting. She wants to do some like a light boxing ring sparring match, but not really one of those where the point is not necessarily to hit the person, but it's practice punching. So one of you is like holding pads. Except you guys are doing it at like 5 times Earth gravity.
Yeah, I imagine the training modes in Dragon Ball Z where they would go into those pods.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's worth noting, Cyberpup is on judge mode, so he's like the ref.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I think by the time that your phones go off, you two are both just like panting and dripping with sweat, and then Leco sees her phone and goes, "Oh fucker, I forgot they were doing that thing later. Oh god, I'm so tired. I should not have done this."
Yeah, Ruda's pretty tired too.
Okay, well, Ruda, you also had the reminder come up on your phone. In 15 minutes, you're supposed to meet in the training room for your team's training combat against the Wombats, the combat Wombat.
So Ruda just turns to her and he's like, just taps her on the shoulder playfully with a punch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess we're supposed to be fighting now in 10 minutes.
Okay, she starts walking with you, and as she walks out of the gym, she grabs 2 bottled, not energy drinks, that would be terrifying, like sports drinks, something to really get your electrolyte refueled, and several energy bars, and the 2 of you are just slamming them as you get into the training room.
What's her name again?
Her name is Leco.
So
you've been here for 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pretty good friends with Leco. Like he's pretty good workout buddies with
That's
Leco.
great. The other thing you know about Leco is she likes hanging out at the gym and she likes hanging out at the bar, and she is an insatiable gossip. And the other thing you know about Leco is that she is Otema's something. Otema's special friend.
I feel like Ruda and Leco are like drinking and gym buddies and karaoke buddies.
Very good.
On the ship. So Ruda turns to Leco and he's like, "Hey, did the captain ask about me? Did she say anything about me?"
No. Similar to the last 10 times you asked, she did not ask. Weirdly.
You sure?
I know. One of these days, I'm sure she will spontaneously start asking questions about you. Although I'll let you know, knowing her, that will probably be the day she has decided to murder you.
I welcome that day with all my heart.
Wow.
Of course. Did I get everybody? I have Mate. I don't have Duranta because she's not with us right now. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in the rest of Team Wombat, which I spent this entire morning prepping.
Whoa.
Okay, so you guys head into the training room, and you've everybody except for probably Amil and maybe Roy has used this training room before. What you know about the way that it's done is it's kind of like holodeck training. The idea is that this room will assemble a virtual a realistic environment for you guys to fight in, and then everybody who is sleeved or augmented can connect into the VR thing directly. Everybody who is not sleeved or augmented has to wear like a VR headset. And then everybody has weapons that are specially made for this room that match the weight and reloading mechanisms and stuff of your real weapon, but don't fire actual rounds. And if they're like melee weapons, they're blunted and stuff. The way it works is you pick a level out of the pre-designed levels, which any of you guys can design your own levels if you're good at like software engineering. And then the room takes the polygons that make up the level. It's got like Nintendo 64 era like polygon counts. So at best you get like octagons instead of circles. And then after you pick your level, you see all of these squares that are spread out across the floor, these like tiles on the floor, start popping up, and it's kind of like if you watch somebody assemble a cardboard box in front of you, where it's like wall, lid, walls. Now this box is done, except they assemble themselves. And they assemble themselves into a rough approximation of whatever level you choose. I didn't get a chance to pre-download these, but I did pick out some levels for you guys to choose from. To sci-fi, maps and ship plans. Okay, so your first level choice is mansion. Your second level choice is a bank. You also have a I think these are I don't know what that one is, so I'm not going to use that one. We have I think this one's a bar. like a restaurant. And then we have one that is called the Temple of Demonic Doom, and as you guys have like preloaded ones that you guys have all like favorited, and as they see that one pull up, everyone looks at Leco and rolls their eyes, and Leco's like, "What? It's a fun level."
We're just like, I totally agree.
So you guys have your choice of the Temple of Demonic Doom, the restaurant, the bank, the mansion. Yes, so those are your 4 choices for combat arena.
We're just definitely going Temple of Demonic Doom. That's what he's voting for.
What do the rest of y'all think?
Temple of Demonic Doom.
Roy looks at the others quizzically and says, "Why am I here?"
It's to practice your combat skills.
I know that I'm being in character.
No. Messah's very sincere. She would say that.
Oh, okay.
Bluvan takes the question too literally and says, "Why are any of us here?"
Perfect.
Okay. I don't think this file needs any editing. I think I can just drop it in as is. Let me make sure I'm on the background layer. Maps. Temple of Demonic Doom. Drop in. Okay. How is this in terms of stock? I need to blow that up.
That looks nice.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a Temple of Doom. Of demons.
Demonic Doom, even.
Yeah.
I think after it loads up, Aveline's just gonna be like, "Why?" Like, I get it, but also why?
Can you switch to a sparring music for Fredbot?
Oh
Yep,
yeah,
I'm about to get that on now.
Sparring music going. So this room that you guys are in is it is upstairs from the gym, and it has like the same floor size. It is like 5 master bedrooms wide. So that's like 75 feet. I don't know. It's a large room. It is a room that is large enough that it can, once everything's folded out, it can accommodate a pretty substantially sized, like, set like this. So, everybody has their VR gear on, everybody has their practice weapons. Let me grab this guy and put him into the GM layer again. Do you guys want, okay, yeah, so, yeah, here's how we're gonna do it. One team is attacking and the other team is defending. We need to decide who's attacking and who's defending, and I think that is decided by a coin toss, and whoever wins the coin toss gets to pick. So the person who's in a sleeve walks forward and they do the coin toss for you. This is Caden. So Caden does the coin toss. He catches it in his palm and pulls it out to, I guess, Bluvan, because I think Bluvan is kind of the de facto like team leader. Or sorry, before he holds it out, he asks you to call heads or tails.
Heads.
Okay, he holds it out. It is in fact heads. So you
Defend.
can choose either attacking or defense.
What do we want, gang?
Attack.
Everybody
The
on board
best
with
defense is a strong defense.
Let's defend.
Contusion, sundown, a
By
common
the way,
lizard
what
drowning
weapons?
in spite of the gun.
What weapons do you guys have? What is everybody's loadout?
Okay, so I'm putting you guys here. People should answer Kevin's question as soon as they can. This altar
What was the
in
question?
the center of the room is the point that you're defending.
What is everybody's weapon?
Mine's just like a staff that I can smack people with.
I've got a beam saber and a submachine
SMG,
pistol.
right?
Submachine gun pistol, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a rocket arm, an assault rifle, and a giant fucking sword.
I have a sniper rifle revolver, so it has two different modes. One's like physical bullets, and one is lasers.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about this. It has a like physical bullet chamber and it has a laser chamber, and they're on a swivel, so you can swivel between the two. Because Kevin specifically for his two weapons, he picked sniper rifle and laser sniper rifle. There has to be a logistically better solution than this. Go on, Bluvan.
Bluvan has light rail pistol and a book, which is of unknown value.
Mate has a coil magnum, and it's been very heavily modified, and a longsword, and it's just like a steel longsword.
Yep, and you also have a second light pistol that you can use specifically for dual.
Oh yeah, saw that just in there.
Right, because you have the ability that whenever you're using two handguns, you can treat them as if they had the fully automatic trait. Roy answered, Ruda answered, so I think everyone's answered. Okay. You guys should choose where you want your characters to be, and then the attackers will come in from the front door, and if they are able to tag the stone there in the center and hold it for more than, like, I don't know, 30 seconds, then they win.
Is there I see these like stairs. Is there like an upstairs?
It's not a huge... Oh, sorry. There is an upstairs to this map. You guys do not have access to it. And okay. I think the way that works is you see those stairs there, but you see like a red like force field kind of thing blocking them off. And if you were to walk up to them and touch them, you would see that there's like a physical wall there, and they're just superimposing the stairwell behind.
Can we manipulate this environment at all?
Yeah.
So you said they have to touch the stone and hold it for a couple of seconds?
Yes.
Can I touch the stone and put it up in the air?
I think that... Okay, I would allow you to try that. This stone is very heavy. It's like the design of the level is such that neither team is supposed to be able to like move it around. But you can attempt to. Where would you want to put it? You just want to put it up in the air so that it drops down to the floor and breaks?
I kind of want to hold it up in the air just for like the purpose of it's harder for them to get to it.
You won't be able to hold it there. If you found a way to put it up in the air and keep it, or you could try to like teleport it into one of the bedrooms or something like that.
Okay, well then yeah, I just want to touch it so I can manipulate it later if I have to.
Okay. I believe you do not have remote help, do you?
Have remote what?
You do not have remote teleportation. Okay.
Yeah, no, I need to touch the item first.
Okay, so whenever you want to teleport it, you will need to be touching it.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody put their characters where you want them. Okay.
Hey, Brent.
We all good?
I'd like to give everybody the adrenaline boost, or I don't know if it's a single person or a party effect, but I'm trying to do my inspirational adrenaline boost thing.
I think that the adrenaline boost is a it's like a temporary thing. So it's once per scene. You pick one ally and give them a shot of stimulant that allows them to recharge and get back into the fight. This character reduces their medical stress track to 0. So the adrenaline boost
it'll happen.
That's a heal. It's just
okay.
When somebody gets hurt, you use that to heal them. What you do have is inspire, roll diplomacy, and if you roll good, then I think that you will. Roll diplomacy. If you roll good, then all of your teammates will have a one-time aspect. Yeah, 12 is pretty good. Okay, so everyone on your team has a one-time aspect called Inspired that you can use. And there we go. So the way this is presented is a green dot represents a free aspect that you can use at any time. So you guys all have a one-time free use aspect called Inspired. And then once you use it, it becomes a passive aspect that you can still invoke, but you'll need to pay for it. Okay. So
what does Inspired do?
It does whatever you want it to do. As long as it fits narratively, you incite that to get a bonus.
Cool.
Okay, so the I need to chunk out zone. Give me a quick second. Polygon, cool, or freehand. Pink, map layer. There. 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 Okay, so each of the rooms is a zone. Otherwise, the zones are indicated as the box. So the space around the square or around the altar is one zone. The space with all of the pews is another zone. The hallway and entrance is a zone, and then each of the raised walkways is a zone, and otherwise all of the rooms are zoned. So all of these characters are going to go head into zones and get set up. He is going to hang out in there for a little bit. He is going to be over here. And these two are going to run forward and take shelter behind the pews. And now, I need to remember how moving works. Please tell me I wrote it down. Combat. I thought I had written it down. Okay, then I need to open up my book, which I would have needed to open up at some point anyway. After this first turn, we're gonna go in narrative order, like we've done before. I'm just trying to find the rule on moving, because that's going to be determine zones, establish conflicts.
Hey, is banter at this point acceptable? Like, are we sort of
go for it. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Amil, do you want to switch places with me? Because you've got like 2 sniper rifles. You might be best in the back.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think that's a good idea. Is this a pillar that I'm standing behind, or is it like a...
Is it like a red square?
Yeah, it's a red square.
That is a pillar.
Okay, alright, cool.
Let me go ahead and click up. Here we go. Basics. Control F, move. Is that all? Fuck yeah,
So...
I found it. Okay. I have the thing that I was looking for. I will have it ready to show you guys in just a second. Jeff, ask your question.
No, I was just gonna try to roleplay while you were looking or whatever. Saying that my inspiration was giving a rousing speech to everyone about the importance of teamwork.
Okay, and then as you do that rousing speech, you do some empathy magic to, like, kind of augment that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Movement. I'm not going to format this text. Unfortunately, the book that I'm taking this from is a PDF, which means it auto-formats into just the least pleasant possible way. Did you guys get a document with some words on it?
Yeah.
Are you talking about movement? Yeah.
Yep.
This is 0% formatted. But you can move into an adjacent zone for free. If you hustle, you can move to a second zone away, so through one zone and end in the second. And if you run, then you just roll, and that roll determines how many zones.
Also, I just wanted to tell all the other, tell everybody in the group that I can survive without, like, oxygen, and then I'm probably the person that can survive the most, like, so poison gases, or, like, blinding light, and, like, or no oxygen at all don't affect me.
Also getting chopped to pieces.
So the one thing that, like, anybody in the party can drop, like, a pretty serious AoE right on top of me to kill everyone else, and it won't hurt me. So just keep that in mind.
Wow.
And then one thing to note for, like, fiction is that you guys are playing a simulation right now, so the goal is that you guys are not going to walk out of this with, like, broken bones and stuff. Instead, each of you guys has a little icon of yourself in the corner of your HUD that is it's like a cartoon rendering of you with, like, you know, the arms laid out and stuff. And as your character gets hurt, the reflecting your injuries in the physical world, you'll see those reflected on your little cartoon icon so that you know how fucked up you are. Okay. Who wants to go first?
Wait, so we probably shouldn't aim to kill the other.
No, so you don't have real guns. you guys have replicas of your guns that have the same weight and the same like reloading mechanism, and they fire like
laser tag.
It's laser tag.
And our swords are Nerf.
Oh, I shouldn't use.
Yeah.
Nerf swords.
Yeah, and your swords are they're above Nerf. They are made with like the real weight, but they have as much like padding on the blade as we can get on there, and made them like as non-deadly as we could.
Okay, fair enough. I won't use my rocket arm though.
That's fair. Okay. What do you guys do? Who wants to go first?
Well, we're defending, right?
You guys are defending, but you can start taking pot shots.
Well, I guess I'll just shoot my sniper rifle at this guy. Wait. Is there a way to point? I'm trying to...
Hold down a left click.
Oh, hold on, left click. Okay. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take a pot shot at... No, I'm not gonna take... I'm gonna shoot at this guy, because I don't want to hit Ruda or Bluvan.
Okay. Also, this guy... So this guy is behind some
cover?
Has some cover behind chairs. This guy is standing on the top of a walkway and does not currently have any cover. Instead, he is just barreling towards you guys in a dead run.
This guy? This guy?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll actually shoot at him. Let me try rolling.
So roll your weapon. There should be a roll option next to your weapon.
Yeah, I'm trying to click it. And, oh, here it goes. Shoot. Boom.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, fucker, I didn't finish building your character sheet. That's embarrassing. Okay, I'll just, can you update I need you to update 2 numbers for me. For your sniper rifle, put in, 5 for the attack and 7 for the range.
Oh, okay. On my character sheet?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Someone else can go while I do this.
Okay, and then, your armor, you have just regular combat vest, right?
Say what?
You were just wearing a combat vest, right? No, you had the mechanics of it.
Yeah, I have the mechanics overalls.
Okay, the mechanics overalls just gives you 1 physical armor and 2 elemental armor. Okay, he is going to roll, I think he has to use acrobatics for this. So that is a tie. On a tie, I believe I said that, okay, yes. On a tie, you deal normal damage. He had a, okay, so your weapon should have dealt +5 shift. His armor, because he's wearing like huge fucking power armor, it's going to negate some of that damage. Were you shooting a physical beam, or were you shooting a bullet or a beam?
Beam.
Okay, then that's going to bypass a lot of his armor. So, you're going to do 3 shifts as is. You can choose to cash in your inspiration bonus for a little bit of a bonus, and then...
Let's save that until...
Okay.
Let's save that.
The other thing you could do is you could spend a fate point to invoke some kind of justification based on your environment, or...
I'm gonna save all that until next round.
Okay, perfect. So, who wants to go next?
Ruda's gonna charge against Leco.
Okay. So this is rough terrain. So I'm gonna need a acrobatics roll from you, just to see how well you get through this terrain. Okay, yeah, you kicked ass.
That was very cool.
And I will say, because you rolled that well, I'll give you your choice. Either you come out here in the middle between the two of them, or you're able to jump over the fuse and kind of flank Ruda, so you're not coming out directly between her and the dude who is holding 2 cleavers, just fucking meat cleavers.
Yeah, I think we're gonna flank and end up where, here?
Yep, that's perfect.
And then I can attack after I move.
Yes, you can. In fact, Leco, despite being absolutely swole like you saw, is not a melee fighter. Leco has a fucking Gatling gun. However, in this case, that Gatling gun is not going to work in her favor because it has the persistent aspect. Huge. Persistent means you can invoke it without spending any points whenever it's relevant. She's gonna have trouble dodging if she wants to hold on to that Gatling gun, and since it's the first round of combat, she doesn't want to drop her only weapon just yet. So she's gonna hold on to her Gatling gun, and you're gonna get a bonus because she's holding on to a huge weapon and trying to dodge.
Because it's my like good friend Leco, I want to use my rocket arm, but then like, kind of like at the end of Kill Bill where he like goes out, she goes out and is like the 5-finger death punch. I kind of want to do like a rocket arm and then like a little tap, but like rocketed.
Okay, you're not using your sword? Are you going to use your sword or fist?
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll do this.
No. So with the rocket arm,
it's like I'll do it.
It can speed up your sword swing.
Oh, all right. So you can't use it on its own, but you can use it in addition to the other weapon? Yeah.
You can do either. You could use it just by itself, but it's more powerful if you use it to enhance your greatsword.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Do you actually want to hold back, or do you want to just see how it goes?
I want to see how it goes.
All right. So you roll attack. So find your weapon, click roll, and she's going to roll defense with acrobatics.
Did I just go melee? Use the attack skill?
Yeah. Just use the ability melee. Okay. So she actually dodged that. She dodged it by a decent amount. However, right away, she has that huge weapon, so she's gonna get a penalty for that. That puts her down to 11. If you invoke your inspiration, that would turn that from a miss into a hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it.
Oh, okay. So you let her dodge it?
Yeah.
Okay. She just barely dodges out of the way and manages to pull her Gatling gun back. And in this case, I think I'm gonna go ahead and have her go, because things are not going to get better for her after this, and she wants to try to take you out while she still can. She's got a disadvantage because she's attacking point blank, but still hope for the best. All right, Ruda, go ahead and roll your defense.
Armor.
Yep.
So I have a question. I see on my sheet I have, for like the regular stress stuff, I have 2 psionic armor, but under the armor section I have 0 psionic armor. Is that correct?
That's because you have 2 different pieces of armor.
Oh, okay.
You have a talisman that grants +2 armor, which is separate from your regular armor.
Oh, okay. What defense skill do I choose?
Well, you can roll with whatever
is.
You have a +3 acrobatics, and that's you could use either acrobatics or melee in this context. Because you're in the same zone as her, you could conceivably use your melee skills to try to prevent her from hitting you. But they're the same, so I would say go with acrobatics.
Yeah, what with acrobatics?
Okay, hold on. Because you should only have 1 point of psionic armor. You just have a regular left arm. Okay, so you guys tied on a 10, and unfortunately, she is not going to be as forgiving as you were, and in fact, she is going to invoke the fact that you have a large weapon against you for defense. She is spending one of her 2 fate points, and you are going to you're going to gain that fate point, but not until the end of the conflict.
What does that mean?
It means, give me a second. Fate points are what you use to give yourself advantages. And the reason we specify that you don't get the fate points that are used against you until the end, until the next scene, is because when I've done playtests with this game, you would sometimes end up in situations where 2 people are fighting each other in like a combat, and so one of them uses a bunch of points in their attack against this person, and then that person used the same fate points that were just against them to add to their defense. And just all around, if you can use the fate points that were just given to you, then it kind of makes the sense of like spending them go away. So you do get all fate points that are used against you, but not until the next.
I forgot about that. So when
That's
you use
fine.
fate points, you transfer them to the other people.
Mm-hmm. So she just gave you a fate point.
But I can't use them yet.
You can't use them until next.
Next scene?
Yep. So
Okay.
after this combat.
Got it.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Mate would like to go next.
Okay.
Mate sees their buddy is in trouble and kind of tips their hat and reaches into their duster and wants to use their point of inspiration to apply a mask to their face.
All right. I will go ahead and say you can just do that without spending your point of inspiration. You're just literally just like putting on your mask, right?
Yeah, I'm just putting on a mask, and I just want to shout out.
Oh, you cut off. What'd you say?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just like I just want to shout out. Villains, no. And then I'm gonna take a shot.
Superhero talk you did.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot at Luca. Or Leco, and I'm gonna use my ocular implant to enhance that shot.
Wait, hold on. Yes, Leco. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you're going to just do a regular shot.
Yeah, from the coil magnum.
Okay. Ocular implant just says that you have. It doesn't have specific mechanics, I believe. I believe it just gives you a aspect that you can invoke, which is still.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly it. Okay, so go ahead and roll with your coil magnum. You can add your point of inspiration if you want, and also you can spend a fate point to add that eye thingy. Okay, you rolled a 6. Leco. Leco also rolled a 6, another tie.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm definitely gonna use both of my aspects to make sure that hits.
Oh no, hold on. You rolled asset. Make sure that you click roll next to the under the weapon itself.
Oop, totally. I just absolutely looked at asset and was just like, oh, that's above the weapon. And then for the input value, what should I be choosing?
You're going to be using shoot. You're choosing which skill you're applying with this weapon. Okay, okay. So you won by
Okay, that's
5
different.
shift. And you also have 6 points of bonus damage, and she only negates 2 of those. So you did 9 shifts total, and you are invoking your point of inspiration and your eye, right?
Absolutely.
So that is +4. So that's 13. 13 points of damage. Okay.
No, I understand how the mechanics work.
Mm-hmm. So, she's actually she wants to stay in the fight a little longer. And because this is a simulation, she doesn't actually have to eat the pain itself. So, she's going to take a mild consequence so that she doesn't have to take all of that as damage.
Ah, okay.
So, 13 minus 6 is 7. Okay, so she took 7 points of damage total, but she now has a mild consequence. Tell me what consequence she got. And, moderate consequence.
Moderate consequence?
And let me go ahead and give you, did I put it under health? Here we go. Show to players. This has some example consequences down at the very bottom. So you can see kind of like the tier that you're looking at. You're looking at something like fatigue, lame, mauled, multiple bruises, out of breath, or twisted ankle. Something.
Yeah, I definitely want it to be like multiple. I would say like multiple bruises, and definitely on their hands. Because I was mostly trying to disarm them so that they would have to drop that gun.
Wait, you won that roll by 5 points. You can add an additional, when you win a roll by a significant amount, you get an additional effect. So you can have your additional effect be she drops her gun. And I think that the, damage that goes with that is she's gonna have the consequence in the hand.
Okay, yeah, I definitely like that, and I would like make to just like look down at Ruda and then just tip their hat and say, "For you, buddy."
Very good. I love it. Okay, and she is now disarmed, at least for the time being. Who wants to go next?
Mikhail, that was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you jumped down there.
Great.
If nobody volunteers, then I'm gonna have the big armored guy go. Is that okay?
I'm fine with that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Big armored guy, get to the corner here so he can use the corner for cover, and then he's going to lean out from around cover, and he's going to launch a grenade right at Aveline out of his grenade launcher. I'm going to need Aveline as well as every other person that's in her zone, which is Bluvan, Amil, and Roy. I need all of you to roll defense.
Oh no.
Can I use my aspect at this point? Or that inspiration point?
You can.
Because what I'm thinking is, I don't know whether I would be using synthetic brains are just faster, or not. Where is it at? Ego's inefficient. Synthetic brains are just better. But I would imagine Roy would have seen something like that coming, or at least seen that grenade as it came through the air. So he would hop on the anti-grav platform and just start kind of like going by and dragging each of these characters into the next zone.
Oh, that's
here.
I will allow you can get out of the combat zone. You will not be able to get all friends out in the amount of time it takes a grenade to move through the air.
Okay.
I think you have 3 quarters of a second.
Bren, can I use my aspect goopy for this? Because I'm imagining shrapnel is not going to. I can just
we have to see how things go first, and then we'll do aspects to modify roll results. Yeah, Roy, you're able to get out of there. Do you want to end up in the middle section, or do you want to end up in the center?
I would go more towards here, but I didn't know what mechanics I should use to get there, or if I should roll anything.
I think because you're using up your point of inspiration, I think you can just do that. I will say that is something that I would have said you can do if you spend a fate point, and you essentially spent fate, so you can get away with that.
Right.
Okay, Aveline, I'm gonna need to see your defense against the grenade.
I can't teleport. Well, I actually have a question.
Thing for that, but for right now, no.
Okay. I'm curious because it says, like, as an astropath, I can manipulate space and time through the use of my warp shadow. Like, can I actually manipulate time right now?
That is something you can unlock. I would say you could. Time is much harder than space. You could do very minor adjustments, but like haste is a specific thing that you can unlock.
Okay.
Or a time bubble, which is the opposite of.
How do I roll defense? It's just I roll the armor.
Yep, you roll armor, and then you pick the skill that you want to defend.
So I would either pick the talisman or the fashionable outfit?
Yeah, and I think fashionable outfit offers more physical protection than the talisman.
And we defend with the skill that makes most sense in that situation. Okay, I did
Which
acrobatics.
Is most of the time going to be either acrobatics or melee if you're in the same zone.
Okay.
But acrobatics is the de facto one. You could also, especially against a grenade, I would allow tough. Hell yes, Aveline.
All right, fashion
Nice.
outfit.
Any damage, and let me pull up combat again. Okay. So you can create a beneficial aspect, which we will do just as soon as everybody else is done defending. But you defended so. Actually, let's go ahead and do it now because other people might cash it in. You defended so good that you created an advantageous situation. Can you think of an aspect that you could create that would be beneficial? It doesn't. So technically, this is your player creating it. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that Aveline herself is doing. You could say like his gun jams for a second, and it distracts him a little bit while he clears it out, which is going to give him a penalty later. Or you could say that like maybe I would allow that like you dodged out of the way in such a way that whereas it would have hit you and gone off and hit everyone, it instead goes off in the back of the room, and it just hits like Amil and not bluvan. Anything that sounds reasonable.
I'm kind of fine with the gun jamming.
Okay. So I have actual mechanics for like reloading and jamming, which are generally happen if somebody absolutely beefs their attack roll. But what we're gonna do instead is this, just like an inconvenience, and he has a negative yes. Okay, I've made a note of that. So wait, hold on. Why didn't that happen? Click. There it is. Amil, you rolled a 5 versus his 12. Yeah, you're gonna it hurt a little bit. You should have 1 point of protection. That's going to, we're going to calculate that. So he has 7 shifts of success plus the 3 shifts of success from his gun, and you have 1 shift of physical protection. So he has 9 shifts total coming your way. You wanted to use your point of inspiration, and you wanted to invoke Goopy as the justification for that. So that's fine. So that reduces it from 9 down to 7. If you can think of any other aspect of either yourself or the situation, or you can ask some questions about the other guy, see if there's one that he has. If you can come up with something to reduce that a little more, you can. Otherwise, you're going to be getting 7 points of damage, and then we can go from there on whatever option. Kevin? Oh,
My bad. Sorry, I muted my mic. I cannot think of anything right now.
Okay, cool. So you've got 7 shifts of damage. You can either take all of that as physical stress, and it looks like you have 16 total, so that's going to be
Yep, I see that.
almost half of your health.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to negate some of that by taking it as a consequence. Consequences are a little bit different in virtual reality land because they go away as soon as the game is over. In real life, the way a consequence would work is you're exchanging less damage now in exchange for bigger issues down the line.
I see mild, moderate, severe, and extreme, and I'm guessing each one of those negates a certain amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. It says in parentheses next to the amount.
Okay. Would a moderate... I was thinking one of my guns, the blast, knocks out one of my guns, and I only have access to one.
We said that you have just one gun, 2 parts, remember?
Say what?
What happened?
You only have the 1 sniper rifle, and it just has 2 chambers.
Yeah, like one of the chambers, that's what I mean.
Oh, no, that would be... Can't think of a way for that to come off without, really fucking up your gun. What I will allow is that it knocks the gun out of your hand.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Okay.
We'll call that a, which minor...
So we're gonna say it knocks the gun out of your hand, and because you're taking a moderate consequence in exchange for that, this is point for point the same as the one that that girl, Leco, got a second ago. So we're going to say that you have shot in the hand as a moderate consequence.
Okay. I'm adding it now.
Okay. So I need to remember to make a note of all of these times you guys get.
And I take 3 damage, right? Or what? I did... What was the initial damage?
It was
9?
Yeah, because it was 9 minus 2, and then you...
Oh, so now I take 1.
Consequence, so just 1 point of...
Okay. Alright, sounds good.
Mate, you spent your inspiration when you did your shot, correct?
Yeah, I did the inspiration, and I did my augment.
Yeah. Aveline, did you use your inspiration when you were doing defense? You didn't need to.
No.
You didn't need to. Okay. Cool. I'm just making sure I have everybody to date. And Ruda did not use his point. Okay. So, since we're kind of caught up, I'm going to say that the next person, who is named Brad, Brad
Hold on 1 second. We missed me taking damage.
Oh, we did. Can you roll defense?
I'm keeping us honest. The armor type, it says civilian clothing,
Mhm.
and there's just zeros beside that, which I assume is probably because it doesn't give me armor. But I just
Oh
wanted to
no,
make sure.
I do think that it does. I think I forgot to fill that out. Every armor gives at least something. Oh, but medical scrubs don't.
Okay,
They shouldn't be
suppose
civilian
accurate.
clothing though. To be specialized. But yeah, medical scrubs gives you absolutely 0 protection.
And then it says choose a defense skill as an input value. What do I do there?
You probably want to do acrobatic. I can't think of any other skill that's relevant here. All right, so you rolled 8, and this is opposing his 12. So he has 4 points of success, and then 3 bonuses from his gun. So he has 7 points coming your way. You're in the same situation that Amil was. You can take some of that as a consequence, or you could just take 7 points of stress.
I'll take 7 points of stress damage.
Okay. And everybody remembers that the deal with stress damage is you get all of your stress damage back at the end of the round, unless you, well, but if your stress damage ever gets to 0, then bad things happen. So stress damage is this interesting dilemma of you really, you would prefer to take stress damage rather than consequence most of the time, but it's much better to take a consequence than to get knocked out of the fight, usually.
Is specifically medical stress as opposed to mental, right?
Yeah, medical stress. Okay, so the enemy who is named Brad is going to run from the place he was hiding behind cover. He's going to run up to Roy with his 2 cleavers, and he's going to attack Roy. He is specifically going to use a stunt. Is available. Oh yeah. Mikhail, can you figure out a new track? He's going to use a stunt that is available to Gal as they level up. This is called Dual Assault. Once per scene, if you're wielding multiple melee weapons, you can make 2 attack actions. And then he can do that more often by spending fate points. So he is going to attack you twice with his cleaver. Just roll once, and we'll use the same defense roll for both of them. So he has a cleaver in each hand, and he comes running up at you and takes 2 swings. Roy, show me that defense.
So, I'm sorry, I was engaged with something. What actually just happened to me?
Yep, he ran up to you and swung at you twice with his cleaver. We need you to roll defense.
Okay. And I click on the just the armor's roll button, right?
Yep, the roll within the armor that you within Rogue's armored book, correct?
It's not clicking.
You should get a pop-up when you click on it.
Yeah, like half the button colors in. The top half stays white, and when I click down, the full button is colored, but
Interesting. It's clicking for me. Can you try moving your character thingy around or resizing it? Because sometimes the pop-up ends up in the background.
Okay.
Is that what happened?
I have an input value pop up now.
Yep. Okay. So you're picking.
I figure acrobatics would be the one I select since I have a high value for that.
Most of the time for defense, it'll be acrobatic. Okay. So you tied, which means he deals damage, but nothing else, and it's only he has 3 bonus shifts. You have 2 shifts of defense, so he only deals 1 shift. So that's just 1 point of stress. On his, sorry, I forgot that he was attacking twice. For his second attack, you only took 1 point of damage. For his first attack, you took 4 points. So you took 5 points total.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in multiple pop-ups that aren't going away now. I'm refreshing the page.
Okay. I had to click cancel on my old input values to get them to go away. Okay. Do you want me to update the stress on your character?
Okay, I'm back in now. So how do I update the stress on my character?
Just go find the medical stress on your sheet and subtract 5 from it. So it should say 19 out of 20.
Oh, so from the very top value. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that has happened. We have not had a turn from Aveline. We have not had a turn from Bluvan. I don't think we've had a turn from Amil or Roy. And we've got 2 NPCs who haven't.
Okay, I will actually, I'm going to attack him with my beam saber.
Okay.
This dude, what is his name? This guy who just attacked me.
Rad.
Yeah, fuck Rad.
He is a Faunian who is tiger.
He's a biological, which means he's trash.
That's right.
How dare he attack me? Sorry, looking for. Here we go. Weapon roll.
Quick side note: I am also non-biological.
Well, I guess that's true.
I am a being of pure light, and I do not have biology going on.
So your character does have like, I think that might be like a spirit of your character. Nova do have spells. They just have like jellyfish. Physiology.
We Nova do not have organic. We Nova don't run on organic chemistry.
Oh yeah, cool. I like that.
I think Roy would have some respect for Amil then.
You certainly have a lot in common with them in that they also have some of that. They don't really think the way that other species do, and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you attacked with a beam saber.
So I pull out the beam saber and slash. Do I target his body part or a body part specifically that I want to?
Let's see the result of the combat, and then we'll go into stuff like that on. He's rolling acrobatics, and okay.
Damn.
He succeeded his defense, and he ducks out of the way. He did not, he doesn't get any. If he had succeeded by a lot, he could have counterattacked. But he did not succeed by very much, so he just manages to avoid damage.
Mm-hmm.
Bluvan, Amil, and Aveline have not gone yet, and there's also 2 NPCs gone. Do we want to have
So so far there hasn't been anybody who's taken a major amount of damage besides myself, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And is moving and shooting possible, or is it like one or the other? Is it both?
Nope. You can move up to 1 zone and do an action for free. You can move further than 1 zone. You just have to start doing rolls and stuff to see if you're able to pull it off. To be clear, this is 1 zone. This is 1 zone, and each of the rooms neighboring it are 1 zone. So you can go to the section in the middle of the room with the fuse. You can go to this room to the left, or you can go to this room to the right. Those are all valid.
And nobody took any consequences yet, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I took a consequence. I took a consequence.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of consequence?
I was shot in the hands, and I dropped my weapon.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, why don't I try to give you emergency medical aid to recover your consequence?
Oh, that would be neat.
What's your is it a mild consequence?
It's what is the second level? Mild, then moderate. I think mild, moderate, severe, and extreme, right? I'm the second one, so I think I'm moderate. Yeah, it's moderate.
Okay, so I have to roll a medicine roll and beat 10, and if I do, then it goes down to a mild consequence.
Oh, that's nice.
Let me find where medicine is.
How are we doing this with what's it called?
Success.
Flavor text. Success.
I go over to you and I guess I have like gauze or something, and I just wrap it really quickly.
Yeah, that works.
So
Cool.
the way that emergency medical aid is traditionally done is it happens over like a scene where you know, you like spend a scene doing surgery on somebody, and then like in the next scene things are a little bit better. I'll allow this for now, but I might in the future not let you use that to fix a consequence.
Okay.
In all situations, but I think that's fine for now. That's certainly just like a fair use of the medicine roll, and you've got a good justification for it. So you do still have a consequence, but it's a mild.
So for the rest of my turn, I'm just gonna get another.
Okay. Click. Got it. Okay. So you're staying behind cover. Amil, you haven't gone. Aveline, you haven't gone. I think. What's this girl's acrobatics like? This is gonna be terrible. Okay, I actually really like this music for this next bit.
Is it goofy?
Yeah, Amil, you see your friend Messah, who you met before.
And who Amil has a giant crush on.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. You see she pokes her head out of this room that she was just standing in, the room over here. And you see two what you are familiar as, because you're a machinist, as the category cyber guard dogs that poke their head out behind her, and then she takes a deep breath, and then she fucking books it, and she's going to try to go. She's trying to get here, slip in behind Ruda, and end up in this room. So she's going to need to make a athletics roll. Oh, I need to edit that. That shouldn't be difficulty 2. That should be difficulty. Difficulty 9.
That is the face. That is the face my character makes.
It's very good. Okay. So where's her character at? This is Messah, and she's rolling acrobatics. She's not very good at acrobatics. Ooh, but she rolled a 12. That's good enough.
And that's enough to slip right past Ruda too.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that is enough to do the movement. Ruda can now roll to try to stop her.
So what do I roll though?
You tell me what you're doing, and then roll the skill that is most.
I think I would try to like physically force her and prevent her from doing so. So I would think it would be like melee or tough.
Ooh, you know what?
Like wrestling.
I think that melee makes a lot of sense, but I think that tough is more entertaining. So I think you should use tough.
Yeah, I think I would treat this as like a grappling opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. I'm reading something. Don't tell me what it is just yet.
Wow.
Oh, okay. I did the thing wrong. She didn't need to roll acrobatics. Instead, she just gets a penalty on all of her rolls this turn. because she was only going 2 zones away. But since I already did roll acrobatics, we'll do that as a contest. She barely beat your acrobatics, and
Yeah, but I want to use my inspiration.
So with an inspiration, it's a tie. What I will say is that you get a hand on her, and she's able to still get into the room. And I think that her 2 cyber guard dogs are able to get into the room with her. But you do have her like grappled, but you have her grappled in this room. And at this point, it's getting a little tight because there's you and her 2 cyber guard dogs in this all piled up in this room. I will say she is pinned, but she is able to wheeze out I know, get him! And her guard dog is going to attack you.
Amil, to be fair, I don't know. Ruda doesn't know that you like her.
Oh, no. Because I think I've had a conversation with her away from everybody else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Ruda has no idea. He's just in combat mode.
Oh, no. I mean, you can like, well, not kill her, but, you know, the equivalent.
It could come off as romantic wrestling.
Oh, God.
Hey now.
Like, it's definitely not, but if somebody was wrestling my girl, I'd be like, all right, let me join.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Ruda just sees like warning shots getting peppered against the wall, pop, 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 like strafing across the wall, spelling out like a angry face or something like that.
Okay, so Ruda, I need you to okay, you rolled armored cloak. He beat it by just a little bit, so you're just gonna take 2 shifts of damage. Okay. So, okay. Bluvan has gone. Amil and Aveline, you 2 have not gone. I want at least one of you to go before the last enemy.
So you said we can move 1 zone and still take an action. Can I get like up here to where these benches are?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can also move through a zone and take an action. You just have a penalty on your action. So like you could move down to here, or you could move like over to here, and still take an action. You would just have a penalty. Also, because you're an astropath, you can just teleport.
Okay, so I can just teleport.
Anywhere in sight.
How many actions is it per turn?
One action.
Oh, okay.
I want to teleport. Well, I don't need to teleport. It doesn't really matter. I can do it at will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the sake of being flashy, I'm gonna teleport here.
Okay.
And I just want to start hurling benches.
Oh, good. Who are you hurling at?
Nice.
Leco. I feel like Aveline would just be like, "Hey, Leco, we're still gonna get drinks after this, right?" And then before Leco even has a chance to answer me, like a bench is just flying at her.
That's very, very good. I need you to roll resolve and use your talisman, or sorry, not your talisman. Use your staff as a weapon. Use your staff to get. Okay. 9. She is going to roll acrobatics to avoid that. And she successfully dodged out of the way. She also one by 3 points, which is enough to counterattack in melee, but she doesn't have a melee weapon. So she is not able.
Do I still need to do the staff roll?
Oh, did you not?
I didn't. I just rolled resolve.
So technically,
So how do I do the staff roll?
The staff just puts in that context of like, if you hit, you get this much extra damage and stuff like that.
Okay.
But technically, to determine whether or not you hit, it's just skill versus skill. So I also forgot to do her armor roll, but yeah. So she successfully. Okay. Oh no! You know what? Here's what I'm gonna give, because she succeeded enough that she can create a helpful trait. I think that the bench that you threw at her just happens to land like on top of the bench that's in front of her that she's using as cover, and it creates like a slightly larger wall of cover.
Oh no.
So she now has a larger wall of cover. Okay. So Aveline has gone. Now I'm going to have last of the enemies go. This is Dirk. Dirk pokes his head out from around the corner. He's still technically in this room. He's getting just far enough out that he can see what's happening. And he scopes it out and tries to find a good person to hit. And he thinks that Aveline looks like a pretty tasty target right now. So he's gonna take a hot shot at Aveline. Let's see. Okay. Aveline, roll defense. And I'm pretty sure that guy rolls resolve. If not, I need confirm. Yep, roll with resolve. So you can roll acrobatic, or you could roll resolve, because this is a psychic. Okay, so you did roll high enough. Do you have any negative aspects on you right now?
No, I don't think I have any.
And I can't think of any that would give you a disadvantage right now. Okay. So there is a you feel this tingle in the warp right about where you're standing, and you step away just in time to avoid a lightning bolt that cracks through the place that you're standing. And one thing that you know about this training room is that everybody has like modified, easy, like safe training weapons. You can't do that with lightning. So hopefully he had that set to like shock and not kill, but you'll never know.
I feel like Aveline's just gonna shoot him a dirty glare.
Okay. Amil, what do you do?
Amil. Okay, hold on.
Wait, did you shoot earlier?
No, I didn't shoot. I haven't shot this round. I think I was waiting for things to play out to find a good target.
I
shot this guy. Yeah, I shot that guy before. I think that the only person in sight is this guy.
Okay.
Yes, he's undercover though, so.
Of a new round. But yes, you can go ahead. Actually, that person has a wall of benches in front of her, so you actually can't hit.
Okay.
You could reposition. If you repositioned, you could get a bead on either of the two that are standing over here. They both have a bit of cover, but that's.
I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna run over here. Does that work? Next to mate, and I think I'm gonna try to shoot at him again.
Okay.
And give me a second. Oh, that's my recon frame. That's not me. Oop. I think this time I am shooting. I shot the laser last time, right? Or was it the physical?
You got the laser, and you noted that it worked very well with his because he's wearing power armor, so the laser was very effective, more effective than a bullet probably would have been.
Well, I'm gonna do that again because it seemed to work.
Okay. So he's going to roll. Yeesh. You win. You hit with 4 shifts of success. I believe your gun should have 5 points of damage. I need to.
We can, whatever you think it did. Okay, whatever you think it did, just do that because we'll fix it after we're the game tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and range is 1, 2. Okay, I just picked. Okay, so you've got 6 points of success on him. Technically, both of you have consequences that could be used against you, but I think that narratively, I want to hold on to yours until you're like, defending or something. He was in the middle of like looking down and trying to like unjam his gun, and he looks up just barely in time to see you readying your rifle at him, and doesn't have time to get away quite enough. So I'm actually going to give you a +2 bonus. So you are at that 4, 5, 6, 7. So you did 7 shifts of damage, and he's gonna eat all. Okay. So okay. I think that the person who goes next is Messah, who's fighting Ruda, and Messah is going to roll. I think she's going to have one of her cyber guard dogs roll acrobatics to try to intercede between Ruda and her. So, Ruda, why don't you do either a tough roll or an acrobatics roll against this? Or no, you know what? We've already established that wrestling is tough. I think this dog is rolling tough. So why don't you roll tough against this dog?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna attempt to wrestle with the dog.
Okay. So you definitely won. This dog is trying to pull you off of her so that it can wrestle you. Do you want to like engage it in wrestling and let go of her, or do you want to just let it try to like, you know, bump into you?
Could I try to push it off with my rocket arm? Or that kind
I would allow that if you spent a fate point.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and reduce your fate points, which is down under your stress tracks. Okay, and her ploy has failed. So, it is. It's one of your turn. Who wants to go?
Bluffin will go. I have a question. So there's a range attribute to my weapon. What does range mean?
That is the number of zones away that it could hit. So, one zone away is here, where everybody's fighting. 2 zones away would be the foyer or either of these raised sections. Technically, this room that is like closed off within this range section would be considered 3 zones away. That number is more relevant when you're in like big open spaces.
So if I have a range of 0 on my favored tome, does that mean I have to be within that same zone?
No. That just means your tome doesn't give you like any kind of bonus. I believe for most psionic abilities, I said that they work within line of sight. So anybody who you have a clear line of sight on, you can use them.
Okay, not zone specific though. I thought that might mean you had to be in their zone, like
no
hand-to-hand combat kind of.
I said with mystics that it works within 3 zones, so probably we should use that as a rule of thumb.
Okay.
Which would include everything in this map. So, you could affect anyone.
All right. Why don't I try to use my favorite tome to do some psychic damage to that person with the Sonic the Hedgehog looking head.
Okay.
The person by Roy.
Scion, the water, fire. Okay, so you won't be able to do physical damage, but you could do mental damage, or you could try to give him like a negative aspect.
So I guess what I'm doing, since I'm an empath, would just be sort of like increasing his like fear response, making him think like fight or flight, you know?
That's very good. I like that a lot, especially because when you get in there and you can like you're planting that feeling in there, you get the impression that he was just looking for a way to dip past Roy and go to get a hand on that stone, and you have now made him much less brave. So that's very good.
Well, I didn't roll for it. Does it just automatically work?
Nope, that's what you're going to attempt. I should have had you roll.
Oh,
so,
okay. I'll attempt.
Go ahead
then.
and roll resolve, and I'll have him roll resolve.
All right, 8.
What's this guy's whole deal? He's a scout. Woo. He got a lucky roll.
Nice.
Okay, so he succeeded. You could, if you could come up with some kind of like aspect, you could invoke justification. You could try to have a get a bonus on that to make it a tie. But
he's not a sim or a sleeve, is he?
No.
Okay. They would just be entirely immune to this effect, I guess. But yeah, empathic scion just basically says the exact same thing of roll resolve. So I can't see a reason why that would give me a unique bonus. So let's try next time.
Okay. Cool.
Can I go?
Yes. I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I wouldn't normally do a combat with this many participants, but I wanted to use it as an opportunity to show off some of the other mechanics that your party didn't take.
Yeah, no, it's real cool.
So, yeah, what do you do?
So I think Roy would pull out his submachine gun pistol and point it directly at Rad there. And yeah, and before firing, he would say, "Invisible night, a violent heart laughing at the perfect song." Fuck, where's the button? He didn't say that part.
I was about to say,
said
is that a part of the poem?
This page is a little confused.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a lot of information. Generally, if you just scroll up and down, you'll find the weapon eventually.
All right. So this uses the melee as well. No, not melee. This is not melee. This uses. I've got the pop up. That happens after you click roll. Shoot, there it is. Damn it.
Well, let's see how he does. He is rolling acrobatic. He's pretty decent at. Roll acrobatic. Commit. Yeah, he succeeded in dodging.
Cool.
If Bluvan had succeeded in hitting him earlier, I would have said that gets through. Okay. Oh, there you go, Cat. Goodbye. Okay. I need to remember to make the enemy's rolls a little lower than yours on average. Okay, so okay, I have an idea. So, this girl, Leco, is gonna pick up her Gatling gun again, and she's going to step out, and she's going to lay down. I think she out. No, she doesn't shout anything. She's going to lay down suppressing fire, with her Gatling gun, and here we go. Full auto weapons can be used to lay down suppressing fire. Anybody who attempts to get up and move through this area is going to have to make a contesting roll against her, and she is targeting the area that she is currently in. So she's kind of just spraying Gatling fire at all of you to keep you to get you to duck behind cover and keep your heads down. And while she's doing that, I think his name was Kalen. The guy in the sleeve is going to roll acrobatics and try to get over to your stone. He rolled pretty good. So that's 1, 2, 3. I think that's good enough. So he slipped in behind everybody else while that fire was getting laid down, and he has a hand on your stone. I'm gonna say if you guys cannot get him off of the stone by the end of next turn, then their team will have won.
Okay.
Can I go?
Mm-hmm.
I would also like to approach the stone and just basically say, "Hi, friend," and then I'm gonna put my hand on the stone and teleport it.
I love that you could have teleported him.
I could have.
Actually, it is harder
but...
to teleport people against their will. But no, that's very good. Okay, so roll resolve, and I'll just have a static number that I'm hoping for you guys to beat. God, that is exactly what he looks like. Ooh, for a 9? This is a big, heavy block. I think Okay, here's what I will grant you. You can either you don't succeed at this because it's a really heavy rock and you did mediocre at your attempt, or you can succeed at it, but it is going to like actually hurt you. Like you're going to get like a slight hemorrhage, and that is not going to be fun times. Training zone goes away as soon as the combat's over. That's going to be you will have actually hurt yourself doing it. Your call.
It's fine. I'm going for it.
You're going for it?
Yes.
That's the spirit.
Okay. Give yourself a Jesus. Didn't think you were gonna call it. Okay. Give yourself a moderate consequence that is called constant migraine, and you're going to have constant migraines for the next week. Well, maybe for the next like 24 hours.
Jesus.
Oof.
But you teleported that stone.
Away.
She's like grimacing at this point, but she's just looking at Caden like, yeah, how'd you like that?
And like very shortly after that, you have to start clutching your head, and your nose is bleeding, and you go, ow.
Yes.
Migraines are the worst. Okay, this rock has moved. I think. Yeah, I think that you guys continue scrapping, and after like 20 minutes, the bell rings, and you guys as the defenders won. In the end, it was a pretty tight push around the stone, but you guys were able to keep them away from it for the full 20 minutes. The closest that they got after Kalen's attempt was Masha? What's her name? Messah. Messah
Yeah, I
managed
think that
to get Ruda distracted with one of her cyber pups, and then she snuck over and discreetly laid on the ground behind the rock with a hand on it, and you guys didn't notice until like 20 seconds in, but you were able to get her off of it on time.
In fact, I'm gonna say Amil noticed, but Amil was like, I'm not gonna say anything.
You're a very good boy, Amil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think when she sees that, she smiles and gives you a wink. Okay. You guys won. Everybody, as soon as the bell rings, everybody kind of just like flops over and takes a breather. I think a lot of them actually flop down on these pew chairs and start breathing pretty heavy for a bit while they try to recoup. And the like hologram that is superimposed over this room fades away, and it looks just like a wire mesh, like flat. What's that called? The just like the flat shapes in a video game. And then slowly those start packing up and folding back into the floor. Any of them that have bullet holes in them, get piled up on the side through whatever strange mechanisms in the floor are moving these things around to be patched up later. Actually, no, none of them would have bullet holes. So just any of them that got damaged in any way, which would probably be very few. And yeah, you guys did in fact beat them at the consequence of Aveline having like permanent migraines for a bit. Thankfully, bluvan will be able to help her cool those off with some medicine later. Okay, so yeah, after this, the map that you were fighting on fades away. Oh no. I should have thought more carefully before drawing on this map. I'm gonna have to really get in there to get rid of those. But in the meantime, yeah. So you guys won. Everybody is invited to the tavern for drinks, and I think the losing team buys drinks for the day. Yeah, do you guys want to? Nice. Are there any other scenes you want to have over here?
Shop at the bar?
Yeah, we should definitely go to the bar.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so I think that you guys all meet up at the bar. And let me go to the. Oh God, I have to close all these pages. I have way too many windows open. Close. Right click, token. Okay. So, I think that it is, first of all, anybody who had physical consequences, those physical consequences disappear as soon as you leave the hologram. They were just on your like digital self. They weren't real. The whole lot of you get together and you meet up at the tavern and have a drink. You have let me move that guy. Oh no, those guys do belong. Okay. Yeah, so now that it's like later in the day, the band is playing proper, and they're playing some good heavy crunchy music. And there's maybe like a dozen people out in the dance floor dancing, but most of the people are just sitting at their tables having some drinks, having some fun. And so Leco has met up with Otema, and she I think congratulates you guys on the win, and she scratches Leco behind the ears. Leco, by the way, is a dog girl. She is specifically a golden retriever dog girl. And yeah, I think you guys have a nice day drinking and celebrating, and you know.
I have an odd request for the tavern keep.
Sure.
Okay, so I go up to the tavern keep and I'm a little like nervous, and I'm like, okay, I have a very specific. I can't get drunk on alcohol, but do you happen to have any liquid lead 211?
Oh yeah, you mean the Nova Special?
Oh my god!
Do you want like raspberry flavor? Do you want lemon? Do you want it like hard, soft, milky?
I'm gonna take it with some. Can you throw some cranberry in there?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you mix a little bit of radon? Like, actually, no. Yeah, mix a little bit of radon in there. Just like I want some radon bubblies in my liquid lead.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
He like pulls out some bottles. I think he puts on some like protective gloves first, and then he pulls out some bottles behind the counter and shakes them up and pours them out. You're not the only Nova inhabitant on this ship, and he has definitely done this request.
All right. I'm gonna get my drink and I'm gonna look very, very happy. I'm gonna have a happy like smiley face on. Oh, you guys are here. I'm gonna like walk over to like Bluvan. I'm gonna say hello, Bluvan. But then I'm actually gonna like hold my hand over like my drink and I'm gonna be like, don't get too close.
Hello, Amil.
Hello.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. Is there any other characters you guys want to like check on?
Yeah, Ruda's like scouting for the captain of the bar.
Oh,
He's
okay.
like trying not to make anybody like know that he's looking, but he's like, in between sipping, he's just like side-eyeing, looking for the captain.
Yeah, no, the captain definitely comes down to drink with people. This is a like fairly regular thing. Now Ruda has been attending this has been living on this ship for 2 years now. Is it safe to assume that this is not the first time he's tried to catch the captain of the bar?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
No, it's been like this for a year, close to 2 years.
What does Ruda do when he sees the captain at the bar?
Oh, he plays it cool. Like, is she there?
Yeah, she's at the bar.
All right, yeah, no, he's like, what's up, Cap? How's space travel, Spacefare today? Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I had, close to 900 benches, 1,000 pounds, and then we had a gun battle.
Wow.
On ship.
Yeah, she does the thing where she like rubs her temples. Like, hello, Ruda. It is nice to see you today. I'm glad you had fun at the gym. Space is good. I spent my day doing accounting and trying to keep this business afloat. So, pretty mediocre.
What you drinking? I'll challenge you to an arm wrestling contest, and whoever wins buys the drinks.
Does Ruda have any like overdue accounts with the captain? Like, has Ruda been like up to date with like payment?
I think that Ruda is up to date on his like rent on the ship. I don't think he is up to date on his tab. Correct me if I'm wrong, Morgan.
What is there like? He has a giant tab.
I think that he's got. I don't think it's a giant tab, but I think he has just a persistent tab at the bar. I think his tab at the bar is never quite.
Yeah, well, I imagine it is like a Cheers situation. Like, he's been there for 2 years. He's good for his money.
Yeah. Okay.
But he does have several hundred space rubles worth of tabs.
That's very good. Yeah, so I would say that after making some token pleasantries with you, she actually walks over and she's going to talk with Bluvan, who's kind of the team face, if not necessarily the team like captain or whatever. And she's gonna ask Bluvan how he thinks that training today went.
Oh, it went spectacularly. We used the power of teamwork and all came together for the victory.
Aveline's like behind him, like, and I got a nosebleed.
Yeah, you're very chipper for somebody who has a migraine.
Yeah, it's like she's trying, and then she's immediately buried back at her drink, like, why did I do that?
Okay.
Yeah, Aveline just went into a coma. It was fun.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have nose bleeding emojis.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I think that's about it. Amil, do you want to have any you want to say anything to Messah before we close up?
Oh, I'm way too nervous for that. We're gonna build up to that. There's my nosebleed emoji.
Okay.
That's
Just to be
lovely.
clear.
That's aces.
Oh yeah, that's a very good emoji. You're not talking to her, but are you staring at her?
No.
Okay, that's respectable. I think that there's a higher level of
Also, I don't have eyes, so who knows?
oh
Yeah, how could you tell?
Lindsay, there's a bird like a foot away from the window, and Desmond was very closely watching it. Oh, these birds that just hang out in our front yard. Who do they think they are?
They know that we keep Desmond inside.
Oh, they taunt him.
They see Desmond getting punished for trying to go outside.
Oh, those bastards. Okay, so I think that everybody gets together and you have who would lead this as a cheer? Yeah, so I think Hayden is the leader of the Wombats, and I think Hayden pours himself a drink and he raises it up in a toast to victory. Now he is a sleeve, so this drink is like motor oil, or no, it's not motor oil. It's like gasoline.
That's the good stuff.
Bryn, I imagine that like when sleeves get drunk, they're handed a flash drive that is like an alcohol program.
There's in Questionable Content, which is a webcomic I read, all of the robots have just a drunk subroutine, and they can turn it on, and part of the drunk subroutine makes them want to dial it up more, and they can turn it off at any time, but they have to want to turn it off, and this drunk subroutine makes them not want to turn the drunk subroutine off. Yeah. Okay, so everybody has a toast to teamwork and good friends, and and the life out on the great starry sea. Amil, I think that Messah toasts with you because she is seated close to you, and I think that's where we're gonna leave it off.
Very nice.
It's a good game.
Already.
So this was my first time doing a test. This is my first time doing actual combat in this system, and the thing I took away from it, which is, I don't think it's a unique problem to this system. I think it's the same problem I would have with 7 players in Dungeons and Dragons, is that especially if you guys are going up against a party that is as large as you are, it goes very slowly. It's hard for things to feel kind of meaningful. So I'm definitely going to do fewer enemies in the future, but probably fewer, more dangerous enemies, so that things move along at a better clip. But what did you guys think about the format of gameplay?
I liked it.
I sort of assumed that we're sort of getting our sea legs in combat right now, so we're asking a bunch of questions and stuff. So I assume it'll probably go a little bit quicker once we realize how to use our characters.
Yeah. But I think that was a good example. Some people definitely got some use out of aspects and like bonuses and stuff. And you got to see lots of different kinds of mechanics.
I think it'll be really cool as we start like adding aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things, so aspects tend to work better the more you know the story, the more you like know each other's characters, the more you can use your aspect, and the more like you know what's going on in the scene, the more you'll be able to use them. Another cool thing to remember with aspects that I think is kind of overlooked a lot of times in these kinds of systems is that aspects can be used not only, or aspects and fate points and that whole thing can be used not only like in combat and when attempting skills, they can also be used to make events happen. So one of the things I can do is I can use any of your aspects as a justification for like a random encounter happening, basically. And that's like one of the main tools that I have as a DM for like spicing things up in town. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Very interesting mechanics.
Yeah.
I want I felt like there was some kind of need for something to account for proximity in our combat mechanics.
How so?
Like, well, maybe not as much for swords because those had to do more with skill, but if you unload a clip of a gun at somebody at point blank range, you've got to try real hard not to hit them.
Okay.
So defense values don't necessarily correlate as well when you're in proximity, because if the defense value is higher, then the attack value is like, oh, well, they didn't take any damage, they didn't get hit. So I don't know. I'll think about.
I mean, it is definitely a facet of like reality that is not being represented. I don't know if I could think of a good way to reflect that is still interesting at a gameplay level that doesn't get into just like,
well, there was some ways that it did affect other things that I didn't anticipate. Like the character who had the Gatling gun was able to lay down a suppressing fire to like pin everybody in place. It wasn't clear to me that could be done.
And you will just get more familiar with those as we go. There's a handful of specific aspects that do special things. If you look in the journal entries down at the bottom, do you see rules, and then inside of rules special aspects? Check out full auto, because full auto is like a whole mechanic. Full auto, and then I think beam weapon is the like energy equivalent of full auto. But you can, with a full auto weapon, you can do 3 things outside of normal attacks. You can do burst fire, which does more damage, but you have the risk of needing to reload. Empty the clip, which does a lot more damage, but you definitely need to reload. Or suppression fire, which is what she did. That just like more of like a narrative action you can do. So yeah, those are those kinds of actions will get more clear the longer we play. But yeah. Okay. We all good? We happy? We like this?
Yeah. I'm good. Last comment on combat stuff. I was thinking, and I kind of guess that this is something that you're keeping track of when you're thinking of what the results are. But like, if you're trying to like use cover instrumentally, that's not accounted for just in the roll that's locked into
No, this game doesn't really have like numerical bonuses in the way that something like Pathfinder does. It's just, those are just aspects. So if somebody's behind cover, they have an implied behind cover aspect that they could invoke.
Oh wait, so that's what is an aspect in this case? Like,
so an aspect,
could you define what that means?
It's any finite fact about the story that we can all agree is like a truth. And generally, these are things that we want to, as soon as we establish that an aspect exists, we should be writing it down so that we remember that aspect and we remember like what it's there for. That's why your character sheets have all these aspects on them. But technically, all of your weapons have aspects. Every room has aspects. So, like, one of the things that a lot of aspects are implied and not stated outright. but that's where you as a player could say, hey, is this true? Like the room that you guys were just in, the floor had a like blood covered aspect, and the architecture had a like the room had a Gothic architecture aspect. Those are not things that I'm going to list all of them, because it would be listing like every single possible fact about every facet of the gameplay. It's just, if it seems like something might be the case, or even if you just want to like, you know, you guys are part of the authors in this story. If you guys want to say like, hey, is it possible that this room, you know, like was made in the like avian architectural style, and I could be like, okay, sure. And you're like, aha, but actually my character's good in this situation because of this. Be like,
So
right,
if
fine.
we
It's a
go,
good narrative justification.
if we go to the beach and I just grab a handful of sand and put it in my pocket, I have the pocket sand aspect now.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to appreciate where the aspects help within the combat scenario. So there's some mechanics of rolling and actual damage tabulation. If I invoked an aspect, how does that affect rolls and stuff?
So, when you're in the normal play, aspects, invoking them in combat can do three things. They can power skills and abilities, which I think most of you guys have an ability that says like, you can do this once per scene or more times per scene by spending fate points. So that's one thing you can do with fate points. The other thing is you can use a fate point and invoke an aspect at any time, as long as we all agree that it's appropriate, to modify the results of a roll. You can either take a static plus or theoretically -2 if you're using it in that way, or you could use it to get a reroll. Because the like, you guys are allowed to use fate points to get a reroll. I'm never going to do that because I'm just like in this format, I'm just seeing the number and I'm just thinking about that number. I'm not thinking about like dice. But yeah, so fate points can be used to power an ability. They can be used to give you a +2 on a roll, or to give an enemy a -2, or they can make you or an enemy reroll.
Okay.
And that is by using an aspect in conjunction with a fate point. So you have to have a narrative justification, that's aspect, and you have to pay a cost, that's your fate point.
Wait, so if I hid behind cover, I have to use a fate point?
Only if you wanted to use that as a justification for why you take less damage.
Huh, that seems like kind of a waste of a fate point, though, doesn't it?
That depends. If it's the difference between, you know, them hitting you or them not hitting you, then it could be very much worth a fate point. The thing is, the idea with the whole fate point aspect economy is that it takes something, whereas like Pathfinder had hundreds of pages of rules dedicated to every possible like bonus or penalty you could get. This game replaces all of those with just, you get a bonus if there's a narrative justification for why you have a bonus. But anybody who's creative can do that ad infinitum. So to prevent somebody from getting a like +100 bonus on their roll by justifying, you know, 50 different things that are in the room that's helping them, we put a cap on it, and that cap to prevent you from spending infinitely is fate points. You each have 5 fate points that you can use, and you can use them. So that'll get you like through a scene or whatever. And every time the DM or an NPC uses a fate point against you, you gain that fate point as like it goes into your pool. So fate points are like back and forth. ebb and flow economy.
So what does it mean when you use a fate point against us?
That would mean I am trying to give one of my NPCs a bonus on a roll against you, or give you a penalty on a roll, or make an event happen that's appropriate to one of your character's aspects. So bluvan has let's look at bluvan's aspect. Nope, let's skip past. So
like, if I'm doing surgery, somebody gets infected or something, maybe?
So you have the aspect, my brother fought for the rebellion and I watched him die. I could, as DM, like, say that you run into somebody who, like, fought against you guys in the rebellion, and that, like, complicates the story or maybe becomes a new enemy you guys have to deal with. I am introducing a complication to your plans by invoking one of your aspects, and in exchange, I'm going to give you a fate point. I'm spending the fate point against you to invoke your aspect. So there's lots of ways aspects can come up, but the rule of thumb is that aspects are just the universal, like, special rule. Anything that is not just a straight up and down skill roll or using a stunt, it's almost always going to have aspects or fate points.
All right.
They're kind of a loose, vague concept, but they're once we get the hang of them, they become like the thing that really makes this game feel narrative instead of just based. Okay, how we all doing?
Good. Thanks for explaining fate.
Good.
Yeah. Cool. I'm really excited. This was really fun. I'm excited to see this game take off.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
Does this time work for everybody next week? Because that was what we were planning for Catherine, I think.
I mean, it works for me.
Works for me.
Cool.
I should be good with every Sunday, honestly.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Bryn.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Angela's brother tested positive for coronavirus?
Of course.
Wow.
Anyway, never mind.
I'm just looking through the chat, and I like what's the chance that Gary was a furry? I also like Mikhail's Aveline gift. Yes, Aveline is basically just going to be doing the Cloud Strike flinch for the next, like, 3 days. And I don't know BoJack Horseman enough to know how accurate those two are as a couple, but Otema is a golden retriever girl, so it feels accurate. Okay.
All right,
Cool,
I'll
guys.
see you guys next week.
This is really fun.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
enjoy your
definitely.
Sunday.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
guys next
You
week.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Bye.